it is interesting their style of offense and how he's going to fit in there. And then you have AJ Brown. So this is the first year we're accepting Julio Jones in this beta role. Like he is in fantasy terms, he's the second best wide receiver on that team.
The Denny role. He's in the Denny role now.
He's taken a beta role to AJ. So what did AJ Brown have last year? Like 1,000 yards. It's going to be interesting with the way that they pound Derrick Henry. What is he going to be able to do in terms of stats? I'm just a big believer in that guy, though. He will probably end up having less points fantasy wise than AJ Brown, but I don't know. I think he might still be the best wide receiver on that team. I think Julio's still got one more Julio year in him. I mean, last year when he was on the field, he was on pace for 1,400 yards. So that guy's got 3 of the top 25 single season receiving yards. He's in the top 25 for, I think he's 13 and 25 for single season receiving yards. So, I mean, he's and to me, that stat to me shows you who the best wide receivers are, because everything else is kind of schemed, like who's number 1? Calvin Johnson, number 2, Julio Jones, number 3, Jerry Rice. And if Jerry Rice played in the modern NFL, he would, who knows? But I think Julio Jones could have 1,000 yards. I think AJ Brown could have 1,000 yards, and I think Derrick Henry could have 1,500 yards. So I think the freaking Titans are going to be Titans,
Yeah. Well, and this is where the pushback comes from, and I'm not saying I'm pushing back, but I was going to give the kind of the counter argument to that would be, only 315 completions from Tannehill last year, which is low. It's in the bottom, quarter of the league, really bottom fifth of the league. So you're looking for more. You're looking for more. And here's what I think. So I actually do think they will throw the football more. I think that their defense, even though they did try to make some improvements, still has a little bit ways to go, and that's going to mean there's going to be more points scored on the board. And we saw them in some epic shootouts last year. Really, just points back and forth, whether it's Pittsburgh or whoever. Those games I think are going to come for the Titans, and so I think that Ryan Tannehill has a chance to throw the ball closer or complete the ball closer to 400 this year. I think he gets a lot more passes because you have Julio Jones. I think that's what people don't understand either, is that yes, the offensive scheme is built around Derrick Henry, but you didn't have Julio Jones before. Like, that's the thing. When you get somebody of Julio Jones's caliber, you're going to design plays. You're going to get the rock to him. And I think he actually increases his touchdowns. I think he goes and gets 8 this year, which would be big for Julio. We know he's got end zone issues. And so I like it a lot too. And I'm comfortable drafting him as early as the 4th round. So I don't want him in the 5th or in the 3rd round. That's just a little bit too early. There's other people I can get, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, which is insane. But if I can get Julio Jones in the 4th or the 5th, I'm completely comfortable with him being my wide receiver 2 this year. But that being said, I'm not going to be stacking AJ, Julio, and getting both of them on my team, not because I don't think they're both going to be good, but I do want to vary it a little bit in how I build my team. And you don't have to, even though I am Scotty Stacks, I'm not going to triple stack. I will do that in best ball, but I will not
totally stack them up in best ball. I'm trying to do it as much as I can. Here's another thing that's interesting is, Ryan Tannehill, they were one of the most efficient passing teams last year, but they weren't one of the most prolific. So Corey Davis, AJ Brown had a little over 1,000 yards. He was under 1,100. I was just looking up Corey Davis as you're talking. Guess how many yards he had?
Almost 1,000. I think he had almost 1,000. He was like
984.
Yeah, like 15, 16 away from 1,000. So I actually projected.
And that's Corey Davis.